Good afternoon from Bottom Line Studio. My name is Elīna Valdmane and I'm host of today's episode. And my guest today is Aiga Ārste Avotiņa, managing partner of Amrop with 25 years of experience in executive recruitment.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's episode.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, and before we jump in today's topic, which is why you will not be hired in Csuite, I would like to tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who is Aiga behind the professional titles?
I'm a family person. I'm happily married and I have 2 kids. One is 12 and the other is 4-year-old. I am keen. I like classical and opera music. I like sports, the downhill skiing, the cross-country skiing and downhill skiing. That is something that really makes me excited, and I like to spend a lot of time with the family outside my work, and I also like traveling and change of the scenery around. That is something that is kind of helping me to recharge the batteries.
Okay. And what is your, let's say, secret of keeping the work-life balance as you're in this management position with high responsibilities?
I don't think there is a thing like work-life balance. In fact, I truly think so. It's if you would like to succeed in some of the areas, it's inevitably puts the pressure on the other things. So you are kind of trying to maneuver around this. It's tough.
Okay. So then back to the professional experience. So quite extensive experience you have in your field. And what would you say, what has changed in the industry since you started there?
Quite many things has changed across these past 25 years. It is related towards the profiles that are sought and that are required by the clients. Also, the way how search assignments are conducted, that has changed a lot as well. I mean, if we look back 25 years ago, you were looking the people according the professional profile. Yeah, that was the most critical things. Whether you have a certain qualification, whether you have x amount of years in a certain industry and in certain role. Yeah, and that was the name of the game then. How it has changed now is that now more and more we see that the fit to the company culture and the values, that is as important as the technical qualifications and experience of the person. And moreover, it is not only the fit to the company values and culture, but also more and more clients are looking at the what is the composition of the team, and whether that person in the senior executive roles, what will be the expertise, what will be the personal skill set, and how that would play together with a team. Yeah. So with a leadership team, and so that has changed. The way how you do the research, how do you identify the candidates, has changed a lot. Yeah, it's when I started started 25 years back, the office room, there were lots of newspapers, there were lots of kind of yellow pages type of stuff. Now it is kind of paperless. You are using different sort of databases, you are using social media, yeah. You are identifying the people by keywords, sometimes using some AI tools, yeah. So now it is also way much more attention paid. What is the diversity in the leadership team? What's the balance between male and female candidates? Yeah, we have clients who are expecting and who are also verbalizing these expectations that they do expect that half of the long list or half of the short list would be male and half of the short list would be female candidates. Yeah, so that is way much more different how it was even 10 years ago. Yeah, all these kind of diversity, inclusion topics, and these are playing a very important role. Also, if you look at the way how the leadership teams are composed, and as we see more and more companies are regionalizing or globalizing their operations, the way how their leadership team looks now, the good practice is also that it reflects the key markets, the key nationalities. It is not composed of one managers of one nationality, and even moreover, it is now also the expectations change towards the relocation. Yeah, it is not necessary that leadership team is located in one office if it is a regional or global operation. Yeah, so there are lots of things that have changed during these years.
Okay, and I'm just curious, how does the executive search process looks like from when company decides that they need to fill in this position till happily shaking hands and signing the contract?
Okay, I'll try to describe that. In fact, these kind of processes, they start with what's the strategy, what are the targets of the company, what is the environment around, and what do they think is going to be important, and where would they focus? Yeah, so that is the strategy that indicates what kind of competences, what kind of people should be found. Is it one or is it a couple of positions? Yeah, because sometimes we are asked to form the kind of whole leadership team. Yeah, so first of all, before you, in order to find senior executives, first of all, you have to very clearly know what you have to find. Yeah, what's the operational context? What's the industry? What's the USP? What are the differentiators of the company against the competition? Yeah, what's their strategy? Yeah, what are the key focus areas? Who are the main stakeholders? What the expectations are? Yeah, how ambitious are the owners? Yeah, what's the composition of the team? Yeah, what's the culture of the company? Yeah, what's the position? What are the key requirements and so on? And always you have to have a very clear picture what you have to find. And interesting enough that the same position within the same company across the 20 years span, it might be that there are 3 different positions, because always the search process, it is a unique one. Yeah. and even the same position for the same company in different periods of time may differ. Sometimes maybe the company is in the startup mode, yeah, or maybe they're for the same company when they have matured and the business has expanded. Maybe there is a time when the recession comes and when there is a need for restructuring, and that's slightly different profiles. So first it starts with strategy and profiling, and then there is a targeted market research. Yeah, when you are mapping those industries, those market segments, and then you are typically so the end result of this market mapping process, that's the candidate long list. You typically also go through with the candidate long list with your customer. Yeah, it gives a sense whether for them if we are aiming in the right direction. Yeah, and then starts the calling up stage. Then we are doing in-depth interviews for those candidates that are interested in exploring this opportunity in more detail, and then going further, there is more and more effort put in the assessment of the person. Yeah, the fit to culture, the personality, the experience, to what extent, and also the references, the reputation checks. Yeah. So these kind of things to realize whether that image that you get, that perception that you get about the candidate, whether that matches to the true picture. Yeah. So that there are different kind of stages when this kind of more in-depth assessment is done. Tests are used sometimes, yeah, and so on, and then customer is interviewing typically the shortlist is 3 to 5, 4 to 6 candidates, yeah, depending on what's the position, and then you are doing this in-depth assessment and verification, and then you are helping to also make an agreement and agree about the financial conditions and the rest of the things. Yeah, and then the further the candidate goes in the process, of course, the candidate gets much more details about the position and it is crystallizing. Yeah, because it is important that not only the company is choosing, the candidate is choosing in the same way. Yeah, because they are not looking for a role that could be a year or 2 year assignment. That's a longer term assignment, and it's important that both sides kind of match. And typically the process it doesn't end up actually when the hands have been shaken. Yeah, because there is also a follow-up period just to ensure whether the candidate integrates in the team, yeah, and whether both sides are happy. Because typically these kind of firms that working in executive recruitment, they have also some guarantee periods.
Okay. So there's a possibility that company chooses the shortlisted person, and the shortlisted person at the end does not choose the company.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. That sometimes happens.
Okay. And in this process, what do you notice? What maybe mistakes companies make in this process of choosing their top managers? Something that maybe you could share that those who are listening can not make the same mistakes.
I think there are a couple of things, yeah, and I would as the first one, I would name consistency about the process. Yeah, if we have, or if the company have decided that okay, we we would go, we would look for the candidates with a certain profile, yeah, and with a certain requirements, yeah. And at the end of the whole, interviewing and assessment processes are choosing the candidates that are, having the longest legs, yeah, and then final choice is made. Actually not or ignoring those kind of initially set requirements. That sometimes happens, yeah. Or when there is not really a consistency what has been communicated towards the inside or outside candidates, yeah, because there are sometimes the processes especially for the state-owned or listed companies, yeah, and there the candidate set is as important as the processes, or I would even sometimes say that the process is absolutely critical. But that is not only going for the state-owned companies, yeah. We recently had an occasion with one of the customers where they have looked for a general manager for operation, for local operation, and they have assigned us to look for external candidates, but also in the same way evaluate the internal candidates, yeah. And then at some point they have chosen somebody else who has not went through the same kind of process, yeah. And irrespectively of what is the experience and what are the credentials of the person, it has created for the internal candidates a sense of that the process is not fair, yeah. And that I think is something to pay attention, yeah, because that's the way also to ruin the motivation of the internal candidates, yeah, and those are typically for the senior management positions. Those are typically the talents of the company. These are not some random people, yeah. So and there are a couple of other things, but I would say that this consistency in terms of how do you follow throughout the process what you have stated in the beginning, what's important, yeah, throughout the way how when you are mapping the market, when you are checking whether the candidates are fitting these requirements, when you are interviewing candidates, that you are paying the attention to the same type of criteria, yeah, or when you're doing the tests or reference checks, that this is kind of consistent across all the stages, but also the process as such. It is extremely important because for the state-owned companies, for instance, there are a number of stakeholders involved, yeah, and it's important.
Yeah, and most probably also the communication throughout the process with the people, so that they understand what is exactly happening there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so that it is not they have to understand. They have to realize what's their chances, what's the process, yeah, and what is really what the company is looking for, yeah. If there are some underwater stones, and there are inevitably in every position there are some pluses and minuses, they have to realize what are these before making their final decision.
Okay. So then today's topic: why you will not be hired in the C-suite. First of all, why did you choose this topic?
I think there are two aspects what led me to the choice of this theme. Yeah, one is that when throughout these years seeing different and very talented people, sometimes you notice that there are things that are kind of that it is about the way how they present their experiences. It is about the way how they present themselves, how they tell the story, yeah. And there might be two people with similar or quite relevant backgrounds, yeah. But it is important also how do you bring across this experience what you have, yeah. The other aspect is that I think that there are also stereotypes existing. How do you typically land in these C-suite positions? Yeah, what should you do to make it there one day? Yeah, and as we see that not always the fact that you have got excellent education and qualifications and have spent X amount of years in different positions, that's something what would be kind of critical, yeah. Many people do not realize that this that the way to these kind of roles is through rather challenging assignments that not all of the candidates are ready to accept, and there might be different kind of burdens, or there might be a different kind of limitations, yeah. Unfavorable reputation of the company, yeah, or really problematic financial situation, yeah, or declining market, yeah, or shift of the market, yeah, and there are these kind of positions where not all of the candidates are kind of queuing up to be considered, yeah, because that seems to be kind of it clearly signals that the mission will be a difficult one, yeah. But actually, these missions are the ones that are showing what is your vision, how able you are to engage the other people, yeah, and so on and so forth. That is actually showing your leadership talent, yeah. So that is the these are the reasons why I have chosen the team.
Okay, and if you go back to the telling the story aspect, I know that you have experience in various countries, not only in Latvia. So is there a difference in this telling a story about yourself in different countries, or this is the same?
I think there are certain similarities, yeah. It is that sometimes you see that the candidate is so preoccupied telling and listing different facts and different kind of aspects of his or her background and many details, but they haven't had really a chance to think through. So what has been the operational context? How that role is kind of similar to the mission what I'm now discussing, yeah, and they have not thought also and spent enough time to do some homework about this company to dig deeper how their business model is different from the competition. What are their assets? What their limitations or risk areas or opportunities are? Yeah. So it is important that you also do a decent homework. Yeah. It is also important to listen. It is important, and more important it is that as we see and many companies going global and expanding their operations, regionalizing, yeah, it is that there are several people who have opinions, who have a point of view, and that is the cooperation. That is not only that what I'm thinking is right or wrong. Yeah, these are the skills. How do you cooperate? How you hear out the others? Yeah, how do you integrate different opinions, different views?
Okay. And from your experience, what would be, let's say, some top advice you would give to aspiring manager who would like to land in that C-suite position?
I think there are a couple of things to look at, and that probably goes across the way how the person is kind of forming the experience. Yeah, because inevitably all starts with the education. Yeah, and as we know, there are different universities, and there are some that are more prominent in terms of the quality of the education, yeah, or their maybe focus areas, yeah. So I would say that first it starts with a good education, yeah, and the next is that clearly there are different ways, different paths to the C-suite. Yeah, it might be that you are going through the organizations where you can learn, those kind of academy companies. Yeah, what could be kind of like a second university. Yeah. Where there are lots of things what you can learn, how things are done, and who are kind of standing out of their competitors. Yeah, there is another way. You may establish your own business. Yeah, but so there is more than one path. Yeah, but I would say that there is kind of a learning period. Also in this kind of path, yeah, and there is a period when you have to, when choosing the positions, you have to look rather who will be your superiors, how interested they would be in developing your career, in coaching, in teaching you, in investing their time in development of their subordinates, yeah. Is there something that you can learn from this future boss? Yeah, so this would be like the starting path. Yeah, but going further, I think it is important to choose this difficult assignment. Yeah, the mission what many other leaders or mid-level managers are afraid about, because that actually shows that is the fastest path. Yeah, and that shows whether you have learned something, whether you have understood what are your capabilities to engage others. Yeah, so that would be my recommendation.
Okay, and if you imagine that you have a possibility to look in the future and see what would be the necessary skills, the top skills for future leaders and managers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it is about the way how do you work together with the others, and how. What is your skill set to understand the context, to hear out the others, to create the environments where the others are feeling that their opinion is respected, that their views and their recommendations are taken into account. Yeah, So I would say this would be one. The other for the leadership positions would be, I think, the capabilities of the person to create the vision and also sell this idea to the others and get the people united. These are times of changes when we are living, and there are plenty of industries where there is lots of uncertainty, lots of different kind of things are happening, and there are people are often they feel they have kind of lost the direction, or they feel they are not able to understand what the priorities are. Yeah, what's the vision in this kind of in this changing situation, and then the capabilities to create tempting vision, clear vision, and capabilities to communicate it to the other people in the tempting and understandable way, and also integrate their views and give them a sense that they are respected. I think that this would be something I would think would be important.
Okay. So I see that our time is slowly coming to the end, and as you are also the alumni of Riga Business School, just a couple of last questions. Why did you decide to study here?
It was at that time. It was I think an education in a good, reasonably good quality level, and it was also the chance to combine it with your kind of everyday work, yeah, and also I think those people who were the professors, who were tutors for the different subjects, for the different topics. These were the main kind of deciding factors, but also the chance that you can actually combine it with the day-to-day work.
Okay. And what would you tell to somebody who is thinking to study here and just listening to this podcast and whether I should come and study to Riga Business School?
Surely you should.
Okay. So, as we are come close to the end of today's conversation, I'll just check, do we have some questions here? No, I think that we don't. So, is there something else you would like to add as we conclude this conversation today?
I think I'm fine. Thank you for the chance of being here and speaking with you and addressing the audience.
Okay. So thank you, Aiga, then for the valuable insights you gave to our viewers and listeners and to me personally. And the next episode then will be on the 12th of May and hosted by Riga Business School faculty member Greg Mathers. And for those who have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please feel free to do that, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.